Hello and welcome to our little historic best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Green White or Selesnya Soul Sisters. It is a deck that has been around in some way or another for quite a while now, although traditionally it's more of a mono white list. Although with some new cards added, I've decided to splash into green to make it green white. Soul Sisters comes from cards like Soul Warden, and in this case, cards like Prosperous, Innkeeper, and Daxos that give you life gain on, usually, creatures entering the battlefield. And with this relatively easy source of life gain, along with creatures like Speaker of the Heavens and Serra Ascendant, you take cards like old Moondancer here, or even Ajani's Pridemate that get bigger when you gain life. As well as a new card, Voice of the Blessed. Now they individually might be a little bit different in that Ajani just gets bigger, Voice of the Blessed gets more benefits, I suppose, the larger it happens to get, and Miss Moondancer here, Moondancer here, sorry, lets you scry and filter draws. You basically want to use the aforementioned cheap sources of life gain to get these creatures really big and try and just sort of punch through. We also have some other little supporting cards. A couple Dramoka's Command can be used as removal spells, or it's usually used as a removal spell, but hey, sometimes you can get mileage out of the first two abilities. Cards like Intrepid Adversary as a thing to use to buff your whole board. It also has lifelink, so it counts as another form of life gain for all of your aforementioned Pridemate style abilities, as well as being an okay mana sink if you draw it later and you don't have anything else to do. I also run some other weird, we'll call them glue cards. I have 4 Collected Company just because it can really help pop your board really wide and make very explosive turns, since it's very easy to say get Daxoses and Pridemates when you hit a Collected Company. I'm also been having a lot of good mileage out of Harmonize, which is just a flat out pay for draw 3 cards, which one thing this deck actually lacks is like genuine proper card draw. Old Moondancer does give us some scry, but that's not card draw, it's card selection. And you could argue that Collected Company is kind of like drawing 2 cards, but in my last couple weeks with this deck, Harmonize was good for just like drawing cards. And I have 1 copy of Bond of Discipline. Since this deck doesn't have a whole lot of evasion, sometimes you just need to tap down your opponent's board and swing it for lethal. Land base, pretty simple. The best quick little 2-color mana base I could get is I have some shocks, some checks, some pathways. I do have 1 of each of the creature lands. Again, more things to do if you happen to flood out. Sideboard, relatively simple. Rest in Peace for graveyard decks. Thalia for the more like is it spellslingery weird stuff. Skyplay Apparition as for more like general removal if we feel like we need it. Same thing with Captured by Lagrex is sometimes there'll be lots of creatures that or decks that want to go really tall, and sometimes just pinning it down and not having it be able to die to like the Vanishing Verse thing in Niv Delight decks is pretty good. 2 Wrath of Gods, little panic board super if we need it. Shifting Ceratops and Carnage Tyrants against decks that can counter us. The protection from blue could be nice for the occasional either mono blue tempo-y or some sort of what's it called, Merfolk deck. It's pretty useful. And Carnage Tyrant is also good against control decks, since the hexproof allows us to just kind of shake off most removal spells. And that is the basic core of the deck. I do want to say, however, before we go into our little games here, 1, it's cold where I live because it's basically the winter, and that's the heat you hear in the background. But I'm not going to freeze for the sake of a video. And 2, this deck is significantly not as strong as it once was. And nothing happened. No card really got banned or anything crazy like that. It's just more that like better decks happened to come across and like come into the format that just made this deck worse. Nothing happened to the core deck itself. It's just, you know, time moves on and certain things get left by the wayside. So, if you're going to craft this or play with this deck, do so at your own expense and understand that this is like a good platinum level deck. It can get you to platinum. Anything higher, like your diamond and mythic, you're going to struggle. Anywho, with that out of the way, we'll go now into game number 1. Game number 1 with our little Celestia Soul Sisters. Again, we go first because we have a brain. That is not a great opener, but it's good enough that we're going to keep that. I don't like it, but we're a little shy on the ability to start complaining. We'll go ahead and play our Sun Petal first, so next turn we can play a Soul Warden, maybe into a Moon Dancer the following turn. Ah, Merfolk, alright. That is going to be a little weird, but it's fine. We will go Soul Warden again, since Soul Warden also applies on enemy creatures entering the battlefield, and Merfolk likes that. Luckily, the old Master of the Pearl Trident shouldn't really mess with us too much. A white source would be great, but you can't always get what you want. Looking for a white source. Hopefully, with our ability to gain the amount of life that we can possibly, hopefully, maybe, sort of, what's the word, stabilize against a more aggressive deck like this? Let's see, I believe, okay, that's technically, that'll do. I'm not over the moon about it. Okay, white source is nice. We'll go ahead and probably play a Serra Ascendant here. And we're just going to keep the plains on top, because we just need more white sources here. I think we can probably just sit and wait until we have a lethal board and then cast Bond to punch through them and win that way. Merfolk Reedry tapping down my stuff is going to be a little awkward, but this is why probably in game number 2 we'll just bring in some. We'll bring in some. What's it called? Shifting Ceratops and maybe some Rathagods. Let's see. They have Ward 1. I think we'll still, however, go for just making a really big board. Yeah, that's fine, honestly. I'm not over the moon about keeping that, but don't really have much in the way of choice. Also allows us to Speaker of the Heavens and Dramoka's Command. Probably taps down, yeah, the Moon Dancer. Does he start swinging? He does not, hopefully. Again, we'll go ahead and Speaker of the Heavens here. Should also help our Serra Ascendant become big enough to really start messing things up. Probably going to keep the Ajani on top. We'll go ahead and I think we're actually going to make our Ascendant larger. Let's see. Ward 1 Island Blocks. Yeah, we'll get rid of one Reedry. I know it has Ward 1. Alright! I didn't think we'd actually get that. Pretty happy with that. Ow! Well, I was kind of hoping we'd be able to have another game. We'll see if this game makes the final cut. Anywho, on to the next game regardless. And probably game number 2 for our little deck here. 1 drops and 2 drops. Honestly, pretty good. You know, I think we're, as you would have just saw, I think we're going to keep that first game in because it shows kind of what you want the deck to do in a vacuum. Now, I will put in one game at the minimum, of course, with a properly best of 3 showcase to it. Otherwise, like, what's the point? But we shall see now what our opponent is doing. My money is on... what's it called? What's it called? Lightning Helix. Don't have memory lapse because that's now banned out of the format. Let's see what our opponent's doing. What are they waiting on? So they didn't discard a mastery or anything. Again, Soul Guide Lantern won't help you here. We are okay with that. We'll go ahead and play Daxos as well as Voice of the Blessed, trying to get our voices large as we can. And since odds are, unless they have that Delirium removal spell in red, whose name escapes me, this will likely resolve. Hopefully it will, but it might not. Okay, he's out of harm's way for the most part. The next turn we play a Soul Warden, or if we draw land, we always play a Collected Company. See what our opponent does. Just cycles his Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern main deck is a very telling thing. That makes sense though. Always something else. We'll go ahead and just collect a company at their end step. Hopefully hit something. Of course we should. I don't remember if we're at the magical 30 point to where you can run a collected company and people don't give you massive amounts of shit. But we're at high enough to where it's fine. That will do. It's not the best, but it's fine. Go ahead and resolve all. Oh, for God's sake. Resolve all until you actually don't resolve all. Because that's how that should work. We'll go ahead and Soul Warden here. Where again we'll be just saving a collected company till they're in step. You appear to be going against some sort of Jeskai control deck. So depending on how long this game will likely go. Shark type fucking food. God damn, this is frustrating as fuck. Let's do it now. Okay, that's something. We can do something with that. It's not the best in the world, but it'll be fine. We are going to lose one of our innkeepers. But, I mean, they might also just sweep the board next turn. Who knows? We're on 35. I think I need 10 counters to make it indestructible. And then it just gets portable hold. Fuck me. Yeah, I get it. Do your thing. Very annoying person. For fuck's sake! Yeah, take the fucking speaker, dillhole. It's moments like this that reminds me that I fucking hate control decks. They're just so boring. If you like it, hey, great, do you. I just don't. Probably has a counterspell. Or... wait, where's the red? I'm trying to figure out where the red in their deck is coming from. If not just for some Mizzix Mastery, whatever outburst thingy-mabob is in their deck. see what's on our... Oh, for God's sake. Okay, I can do this. Prevent all damage, target instant or sorcery would deal. I can't really fight it yet, so we're just not gonna. And we'll make our Moon Dancer a little bit bigger, because we don't want to die. And as we talked about in the deck tech, sometimes you do get mileage out of those first two abilities. We'll go ahead and keep Pridemate, so we have a backup plan when this card is no doubt also removed, as is the way of things. Okay, he's attacking, so he probably has some sort of sweeper or removal spell or something. Because he, air quotes, isn't respecting the Moon Dancer. Does he have another portable hole? That should... Oh, it's 6 if he has the Lyrium, right? Fucking Christ. Just the slowest, most boring shit on the planet. Like, yeah, it's fine. We just gotta sit here. So yeah, if I was to have doubts about keeping the concede from our opponent after game 1, with how long this shit's gonna take, I have no problem keeping that game now. Okay, that's technically a card I can use. I'm not gonna attack with the Soul Warden, because I very much like it alive. It does grow my Pridemate, which is a thing. Of course, if they start dropping, what's it called? Literally any non-creatures with a Shark Typhoon on the field, life is going to get very miserable very fast. Of course, me only having one threat at a time, he doesn't really have to care about it. Hopefully with my Warden and the Innkeeper, and if he makes another 1/1 with an Arden Veil, this should get me to the 30 for Serra Ascendant, to be able to contest the board a little bit. That, or he doesn't, and he can just take 7, which is an option he can do. In my armchair professional opinion, I would advise against it, but no, that's what he's doing. Does he make it at all, or does he just Vantress? Yeah, I think he's going to Vantress. Because if he has a sweeper, it kinda won't matter. Annoyingly, Cave the Frost Dragon. If he casts a 4-mana sweeper, I can't then fight the ensuing shark from it. Okay, as you do, that does get me my stuff. The only card Narset turns off is Harmonize, but that's fine. Unless they're trying to do that stupid, memey, commit to memory Narset BS, which is very possible. I think that is the game gone beyond my ability to save it, right? If he down ticks my... anything on my board, I think we lose immediately, right? Fucking low-key might be the best blue card printed in, like, the last 5... Like, mono blue card. Might be the best mono blue card printed in the last, like, 5 years. By, like, a wide fucking margin. In historic, at least. Like, it's such a strong card. It's never weak. It's always useful. It has utility early game and late game. At minimum, you can cycle it for 2, which is a totally fine on-par rate for a cycling card. That if you cycle it for later, fuck me, mana later on, it works then too. Fuck, this is so fucking... a bond is our way out of this, actually. That's a thing. If we draw a bond of discipline, or whatever it's called, we can actually come back from this, strangely enough. So I just gotta sit here and make him keep on having it. Yeah, I know, Narset. You're very edgy and cool and all that shit. And I think that's the game gone. Yeah. As long as he holds that, my trump card doesn't work. We've lost. That's the block. And I'm not going to sit here and make you guys suffer. It's just not my style. Get some Thalias. Honestly, probably get all these bad boys here. The rest aren't really going to do that much. Go down to 1 Harmonize, because it's going to be that way. Command's kind of nice. We'll go down like 1 Pridemate. Soul Wardens aren't that useful here. Probably neither are the Serra Ascendants. Basically, and this kind of proves my point in that, like, this deck is good for, like, a first deck, but it's just not going to really get you past, like, Platinum unless you run that stupid Squirrel Infinite Token Splinter Twin bullshit combo, which is also very boring. Which is another reason why I don't really run that. I don't question that it's good, and it takes this deck from what is likely a Platinum deck to a Diamond deck, or maybe even a Mythic if you're running really well. But it's very, very boring, and it's like largely non-interactive. And I think that kind of magic is even worse than going against control decks. Again, we go first because we have a brain. What we don't have is good luck. Literally will have to do. 1 Harmonize can go, because they probably will have a Narset in the top third of their deck that I'm going to have to deal with. Very frustrating, but what are you going to do? Them's the breaks and all that. See what our opponent does. That's a thing. We'll actually Soul Warden and then Voice of the Blessed. Maybe we draw something else also cool. That is almost surely a Lightning Helix. That or Unholy Heat, whatever Delirium Bolt's called. I'd be very surprised if it was not one of those two, seeing how the deck has already shown to run those things. Oh, Lightning Helix. At least this way now we develop a board afterwards and we're not like as screwed by it, so it's fine. We draw a land next turn, we can either Harmonize or collect a company, assuming 1, it's an untapped land. Depending on what we draw, if it's a green source, we'll Harmonize while we still can. If it's a white source, we collect a company. Fuck me. That is such a good removal spell. If he bricks on lands, though, I will totally take that and feel nothing about it. Oh, what a surprise. You didn't get either of the things you wanted. Can't really afford to... or can only afford to use the Dromoka's command in response to whatever removal spell they no doubt have in their opening hand. What are you waiting on? Okay, since we drew a white source, there'll be collect a company then. Probably varying degrees of success. But we gotta try. Okay. 2, he blocks. I could give it a 1/1 counter and do that, but there's actually no point. God damn, that card is so fucking good. It's like, in all honesty, this card is probably the only thing keeping control afloat in the format that doesn't have a baked-in, like, combo potential to it. Maybe like that and Teferi. Like, run those 2 in your control deck and you don't really need, like, shit else. And that's fine. It's fine. I don't really care as much. But you can't help but notice. I guess we'll do Daxos and Innkeeper. Go ahead and resolve. course, now he can... It's so fucking frustrating. I would assume he has another Shark Typhoon, so then we can't even attack, because he can make one for 3 and make it to where I still couldn't block. So we're just going to harmonize and pray it resolves. In all likelihood, it does not. Get the fuck out of here. That actually resolved. God. Yeah, it's just no point in attacking. They can also just make a human with Arden Veil. Yeah, and really fucking gum up the works. Just frustrating. I mean, it's fine. They are doing traditional control things. Just because I don't like a deck style or a way of deck play doesn't make it not good. That is a degree of honesty I try to hold myself accountable to. Correctly attacking with his Shark Typhoon token, he's got to try and limit my life total for the Speaker of the Heavens as is. Because as much of a... How do I word this? As much in control as he is correctly in the deck, if he lets this Speaker do whatever it wants to do, and by proxy me, he knows he can very easily have this thing go sideways on him. Okay, so we do you. Doesn't appear to have a counter spell, so I think he just did that as a... Okay, so hang on. He doesn't appear to have some counter spell as far as I can tell. We'll Speaker of the Heavens, and then we'll have the Speaker fight the human token, trying to get as much life as I can pump out of this thing. Let's see, and that's 5 damage to the Teferi. Will also take me to 27, so I can make... There we go. We're feeling a little bit better, because now we can actually contest some of the sharks in the air. Of course, this all goes away with the sweeper, but we also haven't drawn our Dino package that we bring in against control decks. Let's see, he can make a human, or just wrap my shit, that works too. Okay, that's, again, a thing you can do. We just rebuild with our piddly board. I mean, it is a board, I suppose, so you can't really complain too much in the grand scheme of things. Another expressive iteration. What does he find? Does he just look for a land to play, so I don't even get the benefit of knowledge from the exile? These are both 2 costs, so he is sitting on a counter spell. Well, he exiled that one. He has to do that. Oh, he could always make himself draw, actually. That's a good card, too, but that's a Modern Horizons. That wasn't printed for Historic, so I don't count that. Aforementioned bitching and moaning about Shark Typhoon. Alright, yeah, that's fair. Could, and almost certainly has a removal spell now, but we kind of don't really care. We're top decking anyway. So, shit happens. We will go ahead and play the green, since we need 2 green for a couple cards in the deck. And we can't really rely on this treasure being here all the time. Yeah, he's sitting on some sort of cooling spell. Prismari, alright, alright. At least I know where the red came from now, besides the... Man, this deck is a really good spot. As far as control goes, like, this, or some versions of Jeskai control are where you're at. I would argue 5-color nibs are, like, the closest thing the format has to, like, mid-rangey decks. Not helping me, game. And there's a good swath of, like, aggressive decks. And of course those that kind of like run adjacent to more than one concept. I mean, yeah, you can technically portable hold Innkeeper, but let's be honest. We're already on the way out. And I do intend to keep to my promise of at least one game in here.
I have practiced against many to hone your prowess.
I'd rather not, Narsa, thank you very much. And then he just like... God, that thing is so fucking good. That is a thing I can run, but there's very little point to doing so. God. This has just been like one long exercise in futility for the sake of the video. Which is brutal. I have the life total to hold this for a couple turns. So that's kind of my hope here, is that... For fuck's sake! And it triggers off itself when you cast another one? God damn. We have the life total to, like, sit here in agony for a little while. God damn. Voice of the Blessed. Just make him use what he's got, I guess. And then immediately cast it because he has the opportunity to. There's no reason not to. Let's see, 6, 12, 15, 16. Again, weirdly having the, like, ability. Okay, now you're just insulting me, dude. I'll show you! Try and exile my treasures. This is fucking annoying. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of the way of things. Again, children, let it be known that this deck is, like, significantly less good than it used to once be. It's weird that he's just gonna throw that away, but I can't really blame him. There is nothing that's kind of hilarious, but I don't think it saves us. This is the card. Oh, I have a Sun Petal in my hand. Look, Ma, I can give it reach. Fucking God. Just a fucking stomping. Sure as shit lose now. But fine, he won fair and square. In a very death by 1,000 cuts kind of way, but he won. God damn if he didn't win. 14, 20, 28, 28, 3, 31, 31, 3, 33. Literally doesn't matter what I do. But I'll give him this one. God damn. Alright, if you want to be all, haha, look at me, I'm so cute. I'm gonna wheel you with no cards in your hand, putting you right back where you started. So you're just kind of being cute for the sake of it. I did this silly goofy thing! Ah! Little fucking late, Thalia, thing. Wanna die. Thank God it's overkill, mate! God. Yeah. Well played, opponent. And that is our video of this relic of a bygone time in Historic. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you watch the next one. Remember to like the video if you like it, sub if you like me, and if you have any sort of questions or concerns or, what's the word, constructive criticism, that's what comments are for. Thank you all. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.